Welcome to my channel. Today's watch is an extra special watch. This is a watch that's almost 50 years. This is from 1966, which means it's more than 50. It's a 55-year-old watch now. This is the Seiko Sportmatic 5. It's part of the original generation of Seiko 5 watches. It's what many call a proof watch because you can see how it says waterproof Diashock 21 jewels. Now, in terms of history of watch imports into the US, in 1967, the US Customs imposed a duty on any watch that had more than 17 jewels. So every watch manufacturer dropped the number of jewels in their watch to 17. So this is the pre-embargo watch because this had 21 jewels for what was not a high-end chronometer watch. You could get Grand Seiko watches with 24 jewels or more in the mid 60s with the high beat 36,000 movement, but this is not. This is just a regular movement. What makes this watch exceptional is, so let's look at the number. This is a 66199040. It has the dolphin, which is Seiko speak for the fact that the watch is waterproof, and it says it's waterproof as well. By 1970, watchmakers could no longer claim their watches to be waterproof. They had to say water resistant because this was false advertising. And you know it is not waterproof because all you have to do is look at, let me see where the, don't know if you can see it, that's the, somewhere here is the, I can't find it now. Yeah, there it is. If you needed to pry this case open, there's a little groove in there into which you stick in your knife and pop the case open. There is a gasket, but there is no way I'm taking this into the water, because I can assure you all these so-called waterproof watches were never waterproof. This has applied indices, so you can see how the R marker has two grooves through it, whereas the 9 and the 6 have a single groove. This does not have any loom on it, which is a bit of a disappointment because usually Seiko sports watches always have loom on them. It has a quick set date, but it does not have a quick set day. It has dolphin hands, very typical of Seiko watches of the mid 60s. What makes this watch so beautiful is the scalloped bezel, which gives this a fairly distinctive feel. In fact, I don't know if you can see, it really reflects. You can see the light being reflected off my fingers due to the scalloped bezel, and the beautiful silver gray sunburst dial, which actually has a bit of a curve, like a curvature to it, so it's not completely flat. You can see in the light being reflected off it, it just changes its shape, and obviously there's a fairly raised acrylic crystal on top of this. It has brushed lugs on each side and polished edges. For a watch from 1966, so for a 55-year-old watch, this particular example is in amazing good shape. It has a standard Jubilee dial. The bracelet is not original. This would be a spiral bracelet, I think. Let's have a look. Is it spiral? I'm pretty sure it's a spiral bracelet. Yeah, it's a spiral. So it's got a spiral bracelet. But what makes the spiral bracelet better than the original bracelet that it came with is this has solid end links, whereas most Seikos of the 60s would have come with rolled links. All Seiko sports watches just look beautiful when they come with the Jubilee bracelet because That's just what Seikos have always had. In fact, if you look at later divers that Seiko would make, they all come with Jubilee bracelets. Let me see if I can go get one of my other Seiko divers. So let's get an 8123 into the picture. This is a Seiko diver from that comes out in the late 70s, early 80s. Again, the same Jubilee bracelet, except this is a Seiko bracelet, as you can see. And but this has rolled end links as opposed to the solid end links on that. We'll have another review of this Seiko quartz because the bezel on this is harder because it just hasn't been used in so long, and it goes both ways, which it's not supposed to. So that's a review for a different day. Let's get back to our Sportmatic. And in fact, comparing these against the other, you can clearly see just how high quality a watch the Seiko Sportmatic was. What makes it really exceptional is if we take a closer look at it, the quality of the printing of the text beats any Omega text, like the printing on any Omega dial that I have. So in the 60s, you can clearly see how Seiko is just beating every single Swiss manufacturer at every quality standard, even though they don't have the cachet and they certainly don't have the price. In terms of, if you were to objectively compare a Seiko against an Omega, at every point the Seiko has higher quality. Case in point is this watch. Actually, I opened it up to have a look at it, and this watch doesn't really need any servicing after 55 years. Sure, so in the all the grease that they put in it has dried out and it's just got molybdenum in it, but it still seems to work. One day I will open it up and service the watch, but that's going to be a different day. Let's get some. It's about 39 millimeters, like a classic Seiko 5. The crown is at the 4 o'clock. It's waterproof. It's got a very simple design but extremely elegant design. This one actually does not have the Japanese day date. This has actually this may have a kanji the date, now that I remember, and it keeps perfect time. I mean, sure, it's off by a few seconds a day, but for a 55-year-old watch to be accurate within 5 seconds a day is just something to behold. This watch looks good on a leather strap as well. I'm probably going to keep this on my Jubilee for a while because I think Jubilee straps really go well with these Seiko cases. And yeah, be sure to hit like and subscribe. There's some light scratching on the surface of the crystal because this crystal has never been polished, nor will it ever be polished. Where it does, you can see the sides is again some scratching, nothing major. You can see my reflection, which is a good sign on a watch. And just amazing. These watches typically go for $300-$400 on eBay. And if you get one of these watches, just buy it because this is just a classic watch, which these will increase in value as time goes by. So maybe let's see how it looks on the wrist. It's probably the camera's just too close. It is an extremely elegant watch. This is a watch you can wear as a dress watch or as a sports watch for casual use. Looks great if you put a leather strap on it, but just an all-round fabulous watch. Especially, it's rare to get these watches in such good shape, but you can still get them. I know from Japanese sellers you can always get these watches in great shape. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching this video. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. I do need subscribers for my channel so that I can get a little bit of revenue from YouTube to make these videos as much as I enjoy making the videos. And be sure to let me know in the comments what you think. And till the next review, thanks again.